So this week we are going to talk about celebrate.
True.
Yeah. And I think we have done celebrate in lots of ways at the Watershed. We love to have a good party.
We do.
Yep.
We had a good party every Friday night
Yep.
and sometimes Saturday night
Yep.
for the last 12 years.
Yep.
Yeah, with music events
and all kinds of things
Yeah.
and feasts and yeah. So we do like to just have a party. Celebrate also, I think, for us was around celebrating the people that came into this space and who they were and the gifts that they brought to the world, and celebrating our staff. And
yeah, I mean, I remember you and I had a big, not wrestle, but there was a little bit of a wrestle about the fact that staff weren't necessarily wearing Watershed Arts Cafe gear or those kinds of things. But
we need a uniform.
We need a uniform, or we need certain aprons or something to signify that we're staff. But you held your ground because you believed in personal expression, and that clothes were a way to celebrate who that human was, which I loved. I'm glad you pushed back on me on that.
Yeah. Because and everybody, they bring their own unique beauty, and that just changes the atmosphere and changes a space. And without it, it's a little, duller. So,
Duller.
Yeah. But we also parties on Friday nights and arts
music.
life here, and music and storytelling and visual artists and artist stories, and you have been pretty instrumental in all of that.
Yeah, it's been an incredible journey.
Yeah.
Like just watching and creating space for musicians and poets and all sorts of visual artists to come and celebrate what they're putting out into the world. I loved music nights, but I especially loved artists' opening nights, because I got the opportunity to interview these people and hear the stories behind their creations in the world, which changes how you actually engage.
For sure.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
And then, on music nights, watching people walk in either just feeling they just looked heavy or weighed down, and then by the end of the night they're walking out and they're open and they're engaging and they're talking with their friends and family, and
they're hugging everybody.
Yeah, and you just think, oh my goodness, the power of music and art to change the world and change culture. And we're definitely experiencing that now with the pressures of what COVID is doing in making lives smaller, and musicians and artists having to find a different way to find a stage. And then also with Black Lives Matter, what is happening, and the incredible artists that are speaking very well about this really, really, really important issue. So it's been incredible the last 12 years, just incredible. And so many musicians that have started, they were in youth open mic night and now they're performing on the Peak, or they're well into, alternative indie music scene personalities. And you just think, oh my goodness, small beginnings, watching them play here when they were like 12 and now they're in their early 20s. And just incredible. But I also think the feasts, long table feasts, have been amazing, celebrating. Like, we went through a whole season of celebrating other food vendors, Coco Monk, and I mean
so many, but
Hoochie Booch, and just
Larka Farm, and
celebrating food culture and the amazing people that are doing their own art, creating food, and putting that out into the world to nourish us. That's been absolutely amazing too.
Yeah. And I think that whole thing of being able to have a party, like we've gone to lots of venues, and you go to concerts, but a lot of times in this kind of a setting and in this kind of a venue, you go to places and the musician's playing, but you've got like the rowdies and you've got the people talking and you got this and that going on and people are getting up and getting right. And I think the thing that has always amazed me about the atmosphere that was here was, it was like people just got drawn straight straight in, and people came to celebrate the artist that was sharing their gift.
Yeah, it was
that,
intimate.
Yeah, it was intimate, and it was focused on that artist, like wanting to know, like, what are you bringing me, and just the impromptu not dance parties that happened, or anytime I knew that Nae was really into something, all of a sudden you would hear like the pots and pans come out, and Nae would be back there just like banging on a pot with a spoon along with the musician.
I remember people. There were some nights where people were sat on the floor was covered. You couldn't find any floor space, and we were trying to make sure that we were staying within the 75 capacity, and making sure the exits were all super clear, and those were gold, where people were just attentive and listening, and artists walked away, and they just loved this space. They felt changed and inspired, and that was enough. That was enough for them, which was really, really cool. Open mic nights, those were great, with like 12-year-olds and 15-year-olds recently getting up. And then just the people who came along, like Josh Peterson and Robin, and what they brought in terms of facilitating the arts in this space, and who they brought into the mix.
And even just watching them grow up in their gifts and what they were offering, and it was amazing. It's incredible.
It was really cool.
Yeah, pretty amazing. Very, very fun.
Yeah.
And we have had a lot to celebrate.
We have 12 years worth, and a lot of 12 years worth of memories that we will keep celebrating.
Yeah, and we aren't done celebrating.
No, that's true.
And we don't totally know what the future is going to hold in the next little while. We've got a few different ideas of maybe having more parties down the road. We'll see what that looks like. And I know a lot of you we have already talked to as you've come in over this month, but we just want to say that if you want to keep in touch, if you want to know what we're doing, if you want to shout us a line just to say where you are and what you're up to, we would love that. Like, we would love to stay in touch and know where you are and what you're doing. And if you want to keep in touch with us and what we're doing, Instagram is probably the best way. We're both on Instagram. I'm trying to get better at actually posting and being a presence. It's not my forte, but I'm getting better. I am getting better. So I am Chef Jenn, 2 N's, Cornish. And so Chef Jenn Cornish and Nae
Lippett, Nae Lippett.
So,
Yeah, you will find us there and you can stay in contact.